God, if you don't want me to do this thing, I'm
That's
done.
it.
And then God allows you, because your waiting season was not over. I mean, if I'm thinking, it wasn't over.
It was not over.
You still helped you.
Oh
He
my
helped you to
God.
complete your waiting season.
And if I tell you how that extra 1 year was for me, it was a building season.
My goodness.
My school, you want to be on fire, at least for some of us, because we also had seniors that were touching dimensions while in school.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this journey. I love to call it this journey because it is going to be a journey to becoming with our darling Pmoo. Of course, I'm just going to leave it at that. You understand what we're saying when we get into the conversation. My name is Blessing Abraham Akomolafe. Such a privilege to sit with an iconic woman and just dissect and go in through our journey of becoming. I'm pretty much sure that you're going to be blessed, you're going to be helped, because I mean, how best can you replicate what God is doing in the life of a person than listening to them just tell you about their journey? So that's what we're going to be doing today. And I have the beautiful, the elegant, the exquisite. We have Dr. Olawande Oluwanifemi in the studio.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Thank you for agreeing to do this with me.
I'm more than excited to do it. I am more than excited. You know what it means to go into your story? Hey, my goodness. I'm sure a lot of people like myself out there have been meaning to just, get to meet you on a more personal note. And I think that this conversation is going to give a lot of people the opportunity to do that, right? We are talking about your journey of becoming, and it is all encompassing. It includes motherhood, it includes before marriage, in marriage, it includes your journey of becoming a doctor. It includes the fashionista that you are. I think a lot of people don't even know you have a clothing brand. It includes all of that in one. And of course, it includes the hand of God in your journey, right? So let's start from the very, very beginning. If you close your eyes and go back, right, to your childhood, what early memories stand out for you?
Wow. I grew up in a home that we would majorly frequent the hospital. Why? My mom, she's a retired nurse now, and I used to be a sick child, so to say.
Wow.
So I would frequent the hospitals a lot. And I had this very beautiful female doctor who would always take care of me. My parents, if they call her in the middle of the night, I'm having a crisis, they would go to her house and she was always there to attend to me at any time. So I had this desire that I would love to grow up and also be able to render the same care and help to children and young people or anyone I see around me. And I did not fully understand that God was not even really paying attention to only the medical. That there's also a spiritual part of caring for young people that He would have me do in future. But then it was really a major part of my thoughts at that time. And fast forward, that was like way primary school days. And fast forward to secondary school. Let me also add, in primary school, there were days that we'll close from school, then go and sit with mommy in the hospital. And people say that they do not like the smell of hospitals. Maybe because I grew up with it. I love the smell of hospitals. As in, I take it in, and anytime I enter the hospital area, I just this breath of
fresh air.
Apologies to those who have been admitted before. Of course, if you're the one being admitted and you're on the bed,
you won't feel the
you
same
won't love
way.
it. Yes. But then when I come in, I just love the environment, right? You see people caring for people. My mom she spent a long time in the family a maternity area, for pregnant women and all. So we get there and we see them singing. We see all the pregnant women. They will tell them to sing and dance and bend. So it was always so
You were
interesting.
building memory in a space that somebody would say, "No, I don't want to
No, I
be
don't want to go there.
here."
Right. And so fast forward to secondary school, I I had the opportunity to read Gifted Hands by Ben Carson,
Mm,
and I saw the movie. They actually put all of us in the hall in Redeemers High School, and we saw the movie for Gifted Hands,
mm,
and it all just resonated with me. Like, God, this is what I want. I want to be a neurosurgeon. That's when it changed from just taking care of children.
mm,
I want to be a neurosurgeon. I want to do this. At that point in time, most of my pastors were Ben Carson, Ben Carson, Ben Carson. It was like it became like a god. I just
mm.
want to be a medical doctor.
Yes.
And there's this quote that I would always quote in secondary school. I read it somewhere and it got stuck with me. It says, "Whatever the heart of a man can conceive and believe in his heart, it can achieve it."
Mm,
And it got stuck with me, was my word every time. And so, okay, so your question was the formative years, right? So let me just stop there. So I had this build up of desire to become a medical doctor. But as I continued to grow in Christ, I understood that your career is not just a career, it's an assignment. So
yes.
I started to have a bigger picture, a bigger understanding of what was expected of me
Mm-hmm.
in the medical career,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
And thank God where we are now.
Love it. It's actually obvious that God started the seeding very, very early.
Mm,
You could see the plantings from, I think it started with your mom being a health worker and you even finding interest because we can't actually assume that because your mom is a health worker, you're going to be automatically interested in what she does,
yes.
and, it's amazing. It's amazing how God would use you being a sick child
Mm,
and getting the right care.
yes.
That woman, that doctor nurse, now became like an idol.
Yes.
As a child, every child wants to look up to someone.
Yes.
You're not like, wow, I love what this person is doing.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Yes.
My goodness. All right, now let's talk about who was young Oluwanifemi at home, in the secondary school, and how did those early values shape the woman that you have become? Now, we're not talking about the things that inspired you. Let's talk about the woman that you became in the sense in line with being a mother, a wife, a sister, a friend. Now let me help you understand it better. People actually have very funny values growing up. There are some people who just want to gossip. There are some people who actually loved God growing up. There are some people who had a lot of friends. There are some people who are very quiet, who are very shy, who are very outspoken. What was that phase like? Because the contrast. I think I heard you say one time that you were a shy person.
Yes.
You okay? Take us into all of that.
Yes, I was such a shy child. I would naturally be quiet, normally be in my space.
Mm.
But what would always bring me out was the fact that I was brilliant. I am brilliant with
Yeah,
numbers.
still brilliant, please.
Right? So of course, they want to know that girl that took first position, that girl that was the second, that girl that went for the competition,
Mm.
that girl that was able to take the debate. So those were the things that brought me out. And apart from that, in church as well, pastor's child, oh, she's the pastor's daughter, and all that. So I had times when I would be called out to preach and all of that. So I grew up as a quiet girl with amazing parents, so to say, loving parents. I was the type that would always mostly be found reading my books or staying somewhere quiet. And I thank God for the kind of home I grew up in. It was God, church, school, home, and all of that. We were not the kind of people that we find out, find everywhere, right? And it really, really helped me. I'm grateful to God from my early days. I'm
Yeah.
grateful to God for how it started with me. From primary school, they used to call me pastor
Wow.
because
That's
if
very early.
very early, if they needed somebody to preach on the assembly ground, or I think for primary school, it all started because I was a pastor's child. And and then I was that child that was not like every other person. You can't find me dancing to any song or listening to any kind of thing. I
Mm-hmm.
was just with my teachers. My teachers really loved me
Yeah.
because I was good, obviously. So uh, the story you were saying, I remember I had to sit in front of a camera at primary five. We
Wow.
went for what do they call this thing when you go to the zoo and all the excursion.
Excursion.
So we went to the zoo, and we're there. Prime five was the last year, so we just got. It was one of my favorite teachers, and he called some people to come and speak. I was assistant head girl. He called some people to come and speak about the excursion and how was it for you, and the first person spoke. The next person spoke. Actually, he did not call me, but it was my favorite teacher. I was like, what about me? Yeah, come, come, come. And I came. Then I was the last person to talk. And I was looking at the camera, and that was
And
it.
you froze.
And that was it. I could not speak in front of the camera. And the most painful part of this story is that they showed the whole video in front of the whole school.
Oh my goodness.
And
Including
please,
your
couldn't they
video.
have cut that
No
part
way.
out?
Don't tell me they. Are you serious?
No, they didn't cut it out.
Oh my
And so
god.
everybody started watching the part where I froze.
You would have felt really
Oh my
bad.
God. It felt like the ground should open up and swallow me. Then one boy now looked at me and said, he said in Yoruba, because I went to a public primary school. He said, one sorrow, one of a sorrow.
Ah, my
That means
goodness.
that people are speaking and you two want to speak.
Mm-hmm.
No, if I felt so bad. I felt so terrible. This experiences, though sometimes I would come out to sing, lead praise and worship and all, but I knew deep down that there was a part of me that couldn't really speak. There
Yeah.
was a part of me that couldn't really express herself.
Mm-hmm.
There was a part of me that didn't have, felt like I didn't have something to offer.
Mm-hmm.
So it was something I needed to deal with. And over the years, God really helped me to deal with it. I moved to secondary school, and it wasn't hard for me to also get into the pastor thing. I joined the workforce from my GS1.
Mm-hmm.
I was one of those students that was so eager about God.
Yeah.
God had been highlighting on me since I was a child. I cannot deny that.
Mm-hmm.
He has been highlighting on me in many ways, many ways, and especially calling out to himself. I was having a just after my induction, I got in contact with one of my favorite teachers in secondary school. She was my French teacher, and she was telling me that she's so proud of me now,
Oh.
that she remembers how I would tell her that I want to get to the hostel first because God said I should pray ahead of everybody
Oh my
before coming.
god.
I couldn't even
Oh
remember
my
it. And she
goodness.
did. She said she remembers how I would pray so much. On the assembly ground, they used to give us memory verses. I went to Redeemer's High School. That's the secondary school in the Redemption City. It was a boarding school. And so after school, I'm rushing to the hostel to pray ahead of everybody. At GSS2, I had my first 3 days fast. I wanted to die. Like a marathon, I was not taking anything. Even though everybody in the
Wow.
hostel knew that I was fasting at the end of the day because it was a lot. And everybody will eat. I would say I'm not eating. And I started having fellowships in my um I don't want to call it hostel. Well, we call it hostel anyways, because there were many in the hostel. You can have like 20 bunks in
Yes.
one hostel.
Mm-hmm.
So I started to have fellowships. And even seniors will come
And
to
join.
join
Wow.
the fellowship.
You did that in
We were
secondary
having,
school.
yes, we were having drama. We would have drama. We would have special number. Then I would come and preach. And but then I was still, then when people still say you're going to be a pastor, I'll be like, no, never, God forbid. Then I became chapel prefect. By the time I was in senior class, I became the chapel prefect. And then it was so obvious that there's something about you.
Yes.
I'm grateful for my chapel prefect boy who would study the Bible, who would read the word, he
Mm.
would set questions. fill in the gap questions. So you must know what you read at every point in time.
Yes.
Fastings and prayers and all those things they were all God's way of building me to who I am now.
Mm.
I'm grateful for that formative season in my life. Um, I think that's about
I
it.
think that I'm blown to know that you actually started this journey with God quite early.
Yes,
We're talking primary school, we're talking secondary school. And what this is doing for me is showing me a possibility, because when you don't grow up that way, I didn't know God till my university.
wow.
And I was just a church goer. There's a difference between going to
Yes,
church and knowing God. I
yes,
know, please, let's know the difference. There's a difference, because you can't tell me I'm going to the hostel to pray first. God said to no, you actually had a relationship.
yes, I did. I
And
would
that's so
write, I
beautiful.
just remembered, I would write s- uh, like letters to people to give
Wow.
their life to Christ
My
and put
good,
it
you
under their
did
pillows.
that.
When someone is scared to sleep in the hostel, sometimes when they had a bad dream, you see them crawling into my bed in the night. No, um, my school, you want to be on fire, at least for some of us, because we also had seniors that were touching dimensions while in school.
Wow.
Like you had people confessing to witchcraft when they pray. We had really amazing times, and I just wanted God
Mm,
so powerfully. We
mm.
would pray. Oh, we would pray, even in secondary school. So uni was quite easy for me. I just blended
There was already a
into
foundation.
the fellowship. Um, it wasn't hard for me to join NCCF. It was just like that, like that. Even though I cannot compare my relationship with God now with my relationship with God those years, because now is definitely better. Then I was walking by the books,
Mm-hmm.
okay, by the books, but
Yes.
now I understand God better. But
Yeah.
still, I'm grateful.
Oh my goodness, this is so good to hear. All right, let's move to parenting. I'm very much aware, or should I say, I'm sure that your parents may have,
No,
must
yes,
have played a huge role,
yes.
in your journey. What sacrifice did they make that you look back at today and you're like, thank you?
Mm. Before I go into the sacrifices that they made, maybe because we didn't have a really big house and we had some people, people would always live with pastors. We had
Yes.
some people living with us.
Mm.
I had to squat in my mom's room for many years. So
Wow.
we have daddy's room and mommy's room. Most of us grew up like that. It's now that we say don't do that. So I was in my mom's room for many years. And my mom would stay up praying. My mom would play worship songs. When May she wakes up, she'll be playing it on the radio. So I would see her pray.
Hmm.
I learned to pray watching my mom pray. And then of course we have the family devotion and all of that. So it was also God's way of building me. And I'm so grateful for my parents that they actually taught us the way of the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
They made us know what is right and what is wrong. I'm grateful for that seclusion, so to say, that we had. So it helped us to stay focused to what was expected of us. The sacrifices that they made is enormous, right? From not just encouraging me that you can do this,
Yeah.
making me see that I can do this. I remember when I was trying to gain admission to medicine, and my mom, I applied to Bowen University, and I was given plant biology.
My goodness.
My dad said, "Are you going to become an herbalist or what?" So my mom drove me down to a war in Osun State to meet the vice principal, to for somebody to talk to, so we could have a
The
change.
vice chancellor.
Yes. So we could have a change. And then the vice chancellor then counseled that just go for this first degree, right? And later on, you can do biochemistry, you can do medicine. That very soon in Nigeria, we're not going to allow people go straight into medicine. We'll have to do a first degree before you go into medicine. That's what he said to us. And this was like over 10 years ago, and it
Wow.
has not happened. But then he did it, and they gave me biochemistry. And I said, okay, so you can do this. But then I also gained admission for biochemistry in Babcock University. Babcock is closer. So I decided to go to Babcock. After that time, they kept encouraging me. Even though I didn't get it, I wasn't working, I wasn't doing anything. They were feeding me, they were caring for me. Don't worry, you're going to get this admission.
Mm-hmm.
My mom would drive me to, after this was when I was done with biochemistry.
Yes.
The time we had to go and sleep over at Ondo State because I needed to submit documents for admission for to Ondo State. They have this College of Medicine that they started newly. I went there. We had to lodge in hotel, apply everything. It did not work out. The day that I went for my interview for Lagos State University,
Yes.
my dad drove down from Ilorin that day,
Wow.
took me. By the time I think he got home that day, then the next day took me to Lagos for the interview
Mm-hmm.
from redemption camp. Then the next day drove back to Ilorin.
Wow.
And even after when I started the degree and I had my children, the first baby, my mom said, "Don't worry, just drop her, go to school and face your books."
My goodness.
Then we didn't plan for the second baby. Second baby came. I was like, what am I going to do? This woman is already doing so much.
Mm.
She didn't even have a maid at the beginning. And so she was doing a lot. And I didn't want my mom to, I don't want my mom to die. I should not be the only one stressing her life like this. And she said, no
Because it's a
problem.
lot to look over
It's
it.
it's a
It's
lot
a lot.
to now I know what it means to have to
Right?
take care of a toddler
Yes.
because it is a lot. And she was still working at that time. So
Wow.
she would do everything, take the children to school, then she would go to work. And she did it for many years. So talking about my parents' sacrifices, I cannot count it. I'm so grateful for them. I'm super grateful for my parents.
It's how you want to do this. Okay, let me move to the next question. At what point did you move from I have this passion to become a doctor to I actually have a call?
Mm,
Healthcare for Oluwanifemi Olawande is not just a passion, it's not just a desire,
mm.
it's a call. At what point did you cross from point A to point B?
Well, I would say it was a build up. Just like I said to you at the beginning, I felt like I needed to also give this back and take care of children, right? And gradually continue to move like that. There was this strong passion and strong desire that I needed to study medicine because I wanted to care for people.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to people to come to me sick and then they will go back well,
Yeah.
right? But then as I grew in my relationship with God, I understood that career was not just a means of living,
Mm,
it was an assignment.
yes.
And then God started to show me, I think it was in my waiting season when I was done with my first degree, and I I saw myself having to wait to get back into medicine. And you at that point you start thinking, is this compulsory? Is it necessary? Do I
Mm-hmm.
really need to
Yeah.
do this? Then I saw that there was a bigger mission ahead of me, right? The picture that God would always play in my head is I'm going on missions.
Mm,
I'm going to African countries and I'm setting up a health system for them, outreaches, children that cannot afford surgeries. I'm
mm,
able to help them get better. And that was the picture. So
yeah.
I saw it beyond it being a career to make money. It's a calling. It's what God would have me do, and there are systems that He would have me change
Mm-hmm.
even from this office.
Yeah.
And I am again grateful to God.
Wow. I mean, it's been a lot. I think that personally, you're my pastor, of course, but I'm just getting to know you on a more personal level, right? And that makes a lot of sense because you want to think about it. How you're a pastor's wife, you have a business, you have 3 kids. You're not just any pastor's wife. There's a lot of work. Do you get?
Yes.
Like, what are you looking for? Haven't you had your first degree? Anyone who doesn't know this back end story, well, like, you're just being unnecessarily ambitious.
Mm,
But you see, the call also demands that you take in a level of grit
Mm.
because you must achieve what God has called you to do.
Mm.
And it's not just for you. Can you
Yes.
see the picture?
Yes.
The picture had nothing to do with you. It had a lot to do with what you're going to give back.
Yes. Yes.
You
You're
know,
so right.
my
You're so right.
goodness. So this has been really, really powerful if you ask me. Now let's look back, right? Where moments that were there any moments that you almost walked out and backed out of this quest, this journey? Because here's it, right? Some people think just because God said,
Yes.
they are not going to be
It's going
bumpy
to be smooth.
rides. Yeah, exactly. That I think this is, I don't know what your story is, but I think it's going to debunk and realign a lot of people so that when that boss is stressing you and God's saying stay there, you will take it in because you know why you should be there
Yes.
in the first place. Tell us about it.
Oh yes, I really, really wish that God would allow me to do something else, right? Because it wasn't easy to wait. First, the waiting to get into school, then I got into biochemistry.
Yeah.
Then waiting 4 years to gain admission into medicine again. It was a lot to take in.
Yeah.
People who were not as brilliant as I was in school were already doing well. Some even that wanted to go back for medicine actually went back, and they were in. I even had one opportunity to get into Uniloring. I did the post UTME. I got the cutoff mark, but somehow my name was not on the list. And there was somebody there at that time that said, um, pay 50,000 naira. Then pay 50,000 naira and you will get your name on the list. There was someone there calling us and saying, I will pay for you.
My goodness.
Just say, go ahead and I
Yeah.
will pay for you. And I looked at myself, I was like, no,
This is not it.
no, this is not it. This is not how I want to get here. If God is not the one giving me this admission, then I don't want it. And I told her, no, no way, I'm not doing it. If it means I'll wait another year, let me wait another year. The waiting was painful. And so I really, at the final year of my waiting, I had started to apply for my master's in public health to Australia. Even though I did not pray through, the whole process was funny. You don't even want to know the details. They expected you to have some money that you did not have. We were just looking for people that would help us, give us money, so you have the money in the account.
So it can be showing. They will not give you access. Oh, you have money to go through your school
such a
process.
stressful. It was not even spiritually right. It was such a stressful time. And yes, I had that season. And I told God at that point, I said, that final year, I said, if I don't gain admission this year, I am done. I'm not going for medicine again. That means you don't want me to do it, and I'm not going to apply again. That was the year I said, after, if you don't do it now, if you're not doing it now, don't bother doing it again.
I can imagine.
And then he just, okay, now I'm thinking about it because, yes, when I made that decision, the admission came. But when I got into school, they still told me to go and wait another 1 year.
My goodness. You see, my God.
So maybe God was just like, let me give it to her so she would wait.
She will calm down.
And then I got into school and they said, oh, the last 4 persons that came in direct entry, you will have to go and wait till next year. It was crazy, but at that time I already understood.
Yes.
I knew the why. I understood everything perfectly. So it was easier, right?
Wow. I'm just thinking about you coming to that breaking point where you're like, God, if you don't want me to do this thing, I'm done.
It.
And then God allows you because your waiting season was not over. I mean, if I'm thinking, it wasn't over.
It was not over.
You still helped you. He helped you to complete your waiting season.
And if I tell you how that extra 1 year was for me, it was a building season.
My goodness.
I was taking courses.
Ooh.
I was taking a lot of lectures. That's when I got to know DDK. I was taking all our courses. I still saw my journal recently where I would write activation intensive, ignition intensive, activation classes, everything. I took courses on life coaching, everything. I got married. I had my first baby.
Ooh,
That one extra one
my
year.
goodness.
So I was going into school the next year, already married,
Mm-hmm.
already had a child, and my brain was not empty. So I'm so
Capacity.
grateful. I built capacity. That's the word. So God,
Don't rush.
God,
Take it from PMO. Don't rush in your
yes.
becoming. When God is saying wait, just wait. That happened to me too with my married child season. I'm like, if I had not waited, I don't think I would have been able to do marriage. And that's because the
Mm,
time frame was short. How do you marry someone you don't really know?
mm,
And you are moving by the spirit, like, Lord, are you sure it's this person? Because you're having doubts, like, are you sure is it? Say, go ahead, go ahead. I'm like, my friends were like, no. Blessing, now I understand why people have to go for 6 weeks counseling, because they are giving you that time to think your life through. Are you
mm,
sure you want to go in or not? And you will take capacity to. And then you're saying this again,
yes,
during that waiting season. Then the last year, look at all that happened
yes.
in the space of one
One
year.
year,
My goodness, a lot can happen in one
a
year.
lot,
A lot
really.
can happen.